Recently, some rather prominent YouTubers, particularly in the gaming space, have had their content demonetized en masse. And so today, we need to keep you from suffering the same fate. So back in November, YouTube posted this in their Community Help Center. Now, this post may not look very long, but keep in mind, these are only updates to a particular section of the Advertiser-friendly Guidelines, which is actually in itself very long. I'm going to link it down below in case you want to dive a little bit deeper. But if you break any of these guidelines, then your videos could be demonetized. The first bullet point here is adult content. I'm not going to read these word for word, but essentially, if your thumbnail, title, etc. contain adult content, then your videos could be demonetized. I would imagine possibly pulled from YouTube altogether, depending on what you do. There's been some updates to policies around violence, and this actually does pertain to gaming channels. It seems more so than anything else in this update. And if you have game violence directed at somebody in a video game with an actual real person's name, that could get you demonetized. However, standard gameplay where gory injuries are present after the first 8 seconds can still receive ad revenue. What you'll find with a lot of these policy updates is that as long as certain things happen after the first 8 seconds, they are still eligible for monetization on YouTube. I'm not exactly clear on what's significant about the first 8 seconds versus the rest of a video, but I have to imagine it's because possibly an ad just played and they don't want people going out of an ad into something that's a little bit more edgy or inappropriate. So in my own opinion, I think the 8 seconds just kind of provides a more comfortable buffer for advertisers. There's been an update to harmful and dangerous acts. So dangerous acts or stunts where minors are participants or victims may not receive ad revenue. But then we get to the big one, and that is inappropriate language. All varieties of profanity are now treated equally, meaning they are not differentiated based on levels of severity. This bullet point makes everything sound pretty simple. Content where profanity is used after the first 8 seconds may still receive ad revenue. However, if you're using profanity in the first 8 seconds of your video, that video may not receive monetization. This particular part of the policy update is kind of where things got a bit dicey on the internet because creators were kind of swept up in this new enforcement and they were using profanity in their videos. Some claiming it wasn't in the first 8 seconds, but YouTube in a recent Creator Insider video actually said that if you're using profanity throughout the video consistently, that could also get you demonetized. That's why this document we're looking at right now is not the be-all end-all, and you should really make sure you're boned up on all the different things that have changed. I'll help with that more in a minute, but there's a couple more things we need to go over. It's this last paragraph I wanted to draw your attention to because it seems pretty specific. We're also introducing new guidelines under the Enabling Dishonest Behavior Guideline. So this new guideline keeps the following type of content from receiving ad revenue: pretending to be a retail store employee without the property owner's permission or violating their code of conduct, using or encouraging the usage of hacking software in competitive esports. So if you have kind of a prank channel where you go into specific stores wearing a similar kind of shirt to the employees that work there and you just pretend, that you work there and you play around with the customers, yeah, that's not going to fly anymore as far as advertisers are concerned. And then it kind of surprised me to see that last bullet point there about competitive esports and hacking, because that is a huge industry. And the fact that people were monetizing that content perhaps all along and only just now can't anymore is a little bit surprising. As for my own personal opinions on these changes, I think ultimately they are a good thing. These types of updates ensure me that YouTube is working with advertisers to make sure that everything is on the up and up and we avoid something like an adpocalypse again in the future. What I don't love is how difficult it was for me to find all the information I needed to find to make this video. So for example, in this video, I used YouTube's own community forum post that went over the update and some of the changes. But they've also, as a result, updated other helpful guides that go even a little bit deeper than this. And then on the Creator Insider channel, which is a channel I absolutely adore, did go into these changes, but they mentioned things that were not in the post we just looked at. So as a creator, it makes it really difficult to know what is and is not okay, at least as far as monetization goes in this case. But fortunately for you, I've linked all those resources down below if you want to dive a little bit deeper. And if your channel hasn't even reached monetization yet, then I've linked this video right here, which will help you do that. And then this video will be even more relevant to you, which is great for me.